Hello everyone, this is Remlace from 40k Theories, and welcome to this new episode of 40k Lore for Newcomers. For this episode, nominated on Patreon by Grim, we will be taking a brief look at the Collegia Titanica. This video will be a brief overview for certain events that may be explored in greater depth within additional videos in the future. So without further ado, let's begin.
The orders of the Adeptus Titanicus are the iron fist of the Emperor's rule. A velvet glove would serve no purpose.
The Collegia Titanica, also known as the Adeptus Mechanicus Collegia Titanica, or Adeptus Titanicus for short, is a division of the Adeptus Mechanicus that oversees the construction and use of colossal bipedal war machines known as Titans, though each Forge World sect of this division, referred to as a Titan Legion, is seemingly independent of one another, and the Collegia itself serves mostly to catalogue the names and deeds of each independent Titan Legion. These Titans are often ancient constructs of immense size and destructive capability, ranging in size from the smaller Warhound Scout Titan to the gargantuan Emperor-class Titan, which has enough firepower to lay waste to entire cities single-handed. Such is the power and resilience of these machines that often the only way for a foe to combat against a Titan is to deploy their own Titan analogues or to unleash a weapon of mass destruction that is designed solely for the purpose of destroying a Titan. To many who follow the tenets of the cult Mechanicus, the Titans of the Collegia Titanica are physical representations of the machine god's power and might, and they are often referred to as god machines as a result. While the Adeptus Mechanicus makes use of extensive military forces, such as the Scitari Legions, it is the Titan Legions of the Collegia Titanica that forms the most devastating military force of the Mechanicus. In a manner similar to the chapters of the Adeptus Astartes, numerous Titan Legions exist throughout the Collegia Titanica, with each legion sporting its own unique colour scheme and heraldry for its war machines. While many Forge Worlds may serve as a stronghold for a single Titan Legion, some worlds may have multiple such legions stationed upon them. Whenever a legion of the Collegia Titanica goes to war, it is often in support of other Imperial forces, such as the Adeptus Astartes or Astra Militarum, where the enemies of man learn to fear the might of these god machines.
The soul of the machine god surrounds thee. The power of the machine god invests thee. The hate of the machine god drives thee. The machine god endows thee with life. Life.
The origins of the Collegia Titanica date back to a time prior to the events of the Terran Unification Wars, during the course of the Age of Strife. During this period of anarchy upon the world of Mars, the nascent religious sect that would come to be known as the Cult Mechanicus would found 3 Titan Legions, which were known collectively as the Triad Ferramagolus. These Titan Legions, the Legio Mortis, Ignatum, and Tempestus, would form the backbone of the Mechanicum military, laying waste to the enemies of the Cult Mechanicus, such as mutants, rogue AI, and the vicious Psycarnivoria. Thanks to these mighty war machines, the Mechanicum were able to conquer Mars in its entirety, and in turn establish themselves as the sole political, economic, and militaristic power upon the now rad-blasted world. At the dawn of the Great Crusade, the Emperor of Mankind would make planetfall upon Mars, and a pact would be formed between Terra and Mars that would become known as the Treaty of Olympus. As a result of this treaty, the organization that would eventually become known as the Collegia Titanica would fight alongside the Emperor's forces during the course of the Great Crusade, where their intimidating presence, combined with their sheer firepower, would prove instrumental in bringing a number of worlds into the fold of the Imperium. Many of these worlds would go on to be converted into Mechanicum Forge Worlds, where new Titan Legions would be founded and constructed. Following the onset of the civil war known as the Horus Heresy, the Fabricator General of Mars, Kelbor Hal, would side with the traitorous Warmaster Horus Lupercal, along with over half of the Collegia Titanica battle orders present upon Mars. Despite the head of the Mechanicum turning traitor, many within the Collegia Titanica and the Mechanicum as a whole would remain loyal to the Imperium, leading to the events known as the Death of Innocence and eventually the Schism of Mars. Loyalist forces would clash against their traitorous kin during the course of the Martian Civil War, wreaking untold devastation across the surface of the world. Many Titans would be destroyed during the course of the conflict, and traitor Mechanicum forces would eventually claim Mars for themselves. While many Loyalists would successfully evacuate the planet, parts of the Collegia Titanica, such as elements from the Legio Tempestus, would continue to battle fiercely against the traitors before being overwhelmed and destroyed. In response, the world of Mars would be blockaded by the Imperium, though traitor Mechanicum forces would attempt to break through numerous times. One of the most notable Titan campaigns during the course of the Horus Heresy would be the battle for Beta Garman, which saw over 27 Loyalist Titan legions attempting to hold the forces of the traitorous Warmaster at bay in order to prevent them from making their way into the Sol system. This conflict would lead to the destruction of countless numbers of these great war machines, Loyalist and traitor alike, with the traitors ultimately emerging victorious. During the Siege of Terra, many Titans from the Collegia Titanica would initially be held in reserve, although the Legio Salaria would briefly sally forth in order to destroy a plague tower that came close to breaching the walls of the Imperial Palace. Eventually, the Horus Heresy would come to its end, with the Loyalists claiming victory. The traitor Titan legions, much like their Space Marine allies, would be driven into the warp space rift known as the Eye of Terror, and eventually Mars would be reclaimed by Loyalist forces and placed under the control of the newly reformed Adeptus Mechanicus.
Thus do we invoke the machine god. Thus do we make whole that which was sundered.
Over the course of the next 10,000 years, the independent legions of the Collegia Titanica would lend support to Imperial forces in numerous war zones, such as the Siege of Vrax and the Third War for Armageddon. Prior to the onset of the 13th Black Crusade, numerous Titan legions would be stationed upon the worlds close to the Cadian system, where they would lend their might to fight against repeated chaotic incursions. When Abaddon the Despoiler launched his invasion of Cadia in late M41, many of these Titan legions would make their way to the world in order to bolster its defenses, though despite their best efforts, the traitors would ultimately claim victory during the conflict. Following the return of the Ultramarines Primarch Rabute Guilliman, the Collegia Titanica would lend their aid to Imperial forces during the conflict known as the Plague Wars, dispatching the Legio Oberon, Legio Atarus, and Legio Fortis to the world of Parmenio, and the Legio Praetor Demi-Legion to Ajax, before later dispatching the Legio Feroxus to the embattled world of Vigilus. The Collegia Titanica is organized into 4 main divisions. The first of these is the Divisio Militaris. The Militaris serves as the primary military arm of the Collegia, consisting of not only numerous Titan legions, but also including ground combat troops and numerous support staff. The Titan legions of the present-day Militaris typically number around 50 machines, though they numbered between 200 to 300 engines during the Great Crusade, with the most common class of Titan being that of the Warlord. Despite the Warlord being the most commonly utilized class of Titan, the Divisio Militaris also makes use of other models, such as the fast and nimble Warhound Scout class, the flexible Reaver class, and in more extreme cases, the truly gargantuan Emperor class. The Militaris also makes extensive use of infantry known as Secutari, though they are by no means the only Divisio to do so. The cyborg soldiers of the Secretari will accompany the Titans into battle, where they will not only serve as a counter to enemy infantry, but also hunt down and eliminate any that survive the destruction left in the wake of the Titans. The second division is that of the Divisio Mandati. This branch of the Collegia Titanica is responsible for traveling to human worlds that have yet to be brought into the fold of the Imperium, making use of a small number of the gargantuan Emperor-class Titans, along with elements from the Adeptus Terra, in order to convince these independent worlds to integrate into the Imperium. The most elite members of the Mandati, known as the Missionary Orders, are often sent to accompany rogue traders in exploring uncharted regions of space. The third of these divisions is known as the Divisio Investigatus. The Investigatus is responsible for the development of new classes of Titan, as well as weapon systems and improvements to existing classes. The final and arguably most terrifying part of the Collegia is the Divisio Telepathica. This particular division is responsible for the secret Titan Legion referred to as the Ordo Sinister. Numbering at only 25 engines, this legion was founded on the Emperor's direct orders and utilizes exclusively Warlord Titans retrofitted into Psi Titans. These Psi Titans are extensively modified in comparison to the Titans found within other Divisios, having been fitted with Dark Age technology that allows the Titan to weaponize the powers of Psychers, allowing these machines to unleash blasts of psychokinesis, warp lightning, create temporal distortions, and even breach the very fabric of reality on a truly terrifying scale. Weapons that not even Primarchs have the authority to wield. And that concludes this episode of 40k Lore for Newcomers. If you liked this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. To those who are new to 40k, we hope you learned something. So leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.